Hiya folks, it's Jocelyn. Welcome back to Yogi with a Book. Today I have the second video in my Latinx-A-Thon general video series, I guess, leading up to our readathon. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, I am just going to divert you immediately to the Latinx-A-Thon announcement. I made that last week. This is a week later, and I'm still a little bit sick, but my voice is a little bit better today. So what we're going to be talking about are some of my recommendations for this year's Latinx-A-Thon. Last year, me and my co-hosts also did recommendation videos, so those are all going to be linked below also, hopefully. I think most of those books would also work for all of the prompts this year, but we're all updating our lists, so we're giving you brand new recommendations this year, and today we are going to do mine. I'm not gonna lie, I'm only partially prepared for this. I've kind of put it off. Everything's been a little bit weird schedule-wise because of my illness, but we're here. I'm gonna go through my recommendations and I will, in editing, let you know which different prompts they go for, like in some sort of text form down here, because I don't think I have the capacity to do all of that right now. The first book we're just going to get out of the way because I'm sure if you've been on my channel long enough, you already know what that's going to be. And that book is Don't Date Rosa Santos by Nina Moreno. This is a YA debut. It came out earlier this year, I want to say May 14th. And it is a seriously delightful rom-com. I absolutely love Rosa. I love the city of Port Coral. And it gets a lot of comparisons to Gilmore Girls, which I haven't seen. But if you like Gilmore Girls and you like a small town setting and a little bit of everyone knowing each other, this book is definitely going to be for you. It's so cute, it's wonderful, and I recommend it with my entire heart. And even though Rosa is only Cuban American, Nina Moreno is both Cuban and Colombian. Next, I want to recommend Undead Girl Gang, which I did a full review on last year actually, so I'm gonna link that up above as well. This is just like a really campy, fun YA paranormal that mostly reads like a contemporary. We follow Mila Flores, who in the wake of her friend's death is sort of trying to deal with all of these things that have been happening. Her friend is not the first person to die, nor is she the first person in her school that's been labeled as a suicide, and Mila thinks there is definitely more going on than what everyone else seems to. So being the badass Wiccan that she is, she gets a grimoire and she raises the dead. It's a little bit of a murder mystery. It's so much fun. We get these like zombie girls who come back for a week. It's definitely one to read if you want to suspend your disbelief a little bit and just have fun while reading something that's a little bit ridiculous. Representation for this is own voices in a couple of different ways. Not only is Lily Anderson Afro-Boricua, but she also self-identifies as fat, and Mila Flores is also fat, and I think it's wonderful. Again, you can watch my full review for that, but this one, I think more people need to check out. Next, I have Nocturna by Maya Motain, who is seriously a delightful person, and just how wonderful she is definitely makes me love her book a little bit more. Nocturna is a YA fantasy and it's first in a series, and I'm telling you, if you want a good Latinx fantasy, and by Latinx I also mean a world in which Spanish is the powerful language, and you also want a fantasy that talks about colonialism and imperialism and what it's like when your colonizers leave and sort of what your cultural heritage looks like from that different mishmash, this is the book for you. We follow a shapeshifter named Finn and a prince named Alfie who have to go on this quest to basically save their world from a god named Sombra. This book I actually talked about in my Own World Mythologies video, so again, linking that one up above. But I loved it so much. I am so excited to read the next book, and if you're just into a really good YA fantasy, but you wanted to have a Latinx spin, this would be my pick. Also, Nocturna is inspired by Maya's own Dominican heritage. Next, I have Yi, which is a translated graphic novel. It was originally published in Brazil, so it was in Portuguese. And this is my least favorite one for this video. Full disclosure, I only gave this book 3 stars, but I am recommending it because the art is so outstanding. I don't really remember much about the story itself, but this is a book that I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy if they hear about it. And so far, as much as BookTube seems to love graphic novels, I haven't heard anyone talking about this. So this is me telling you that you should read Yi. It's translated and it is just absolutely stunning. And finally, I have a poetry collection for you, and that is Yoruba from Cuba by Nicolas Guillen. I actually read this last year for Latinx Heritage Month, though I don't remember if it was during Latinxathon or just within the general month. And Nicolas Guillen was one of the most famous Cuban poets, definitely outside of Jose Marti. I think everyone knows Marti, but Nicolas Guillen is also very well known. And this collection I don't think is the easiest to come by. It's once again translated, obviously, but Guillen goes hard. One of the things that I really appreciate about poetry is poetry that has a message, and especially a social or political message. Those ones seem to work the best for me. I like poetry that like makes me a little bit angry, you know? I don't know if that's like a common thing or not. I feel like when we were in school and we had to read poetry, it was always about like love and flowers and like landscapes. Nicolas Guillen's poetry is nothing like that. He talks about slavery, he talks about the things he dislikes about the US as a Cuban citizen, and basically I'm saying if you want to hear what a Cuban from Cuba thought back in the day about different political relations and race relations, then absolutely you need to be picking this up. There were so many times I looked at the page and I was like, damn. That's what this poetry does. This is absolutely a recommended read for me if you're into that sort of thing. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Don't forget to also check out my recommendations for last year. Those ones are still totally relevant and I still definitely recommend all of them. And keep an eye out for the videos from my co-hosts as well. I think we're probably going to do the same thing we did last time, which is I post first, and then Yvette, and then Priscilla, and then Andrea, so that you get something different on the hour if you're looking for that sort of thing on your Sunday. Otherwise, next week we are going to be talking TBRs, and I cannot wait to see your TBRs. Let me know down below if you've done a recommendations video for this, if you're going to be doing a TBR for Latinxathon. I am just so excited for this to happen. I can't even tell you. I think when this goes up, it is exactly 3 weeks until Latinxathon starts, and I am just so ready. We have so many amazing things planned for this Latinx Heritage Month, and I just cannot wait to share them with you. But otherwise, that's going to be it for me today. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video shortly. Bye!